So I'm giving myself a little bit of grace here. I've had a lot of allergies wreaking havoc on me lately with the weather going back and forth here in Indiana. And so I'm having trouble reading entire chapters of several books out loud a day. And so I thought I'd start the third chapter of the Lemonade War. And I'll stop after a few pages and then try to finish it up tonight. So if you'll give me just a second here, we'll get into the book and I will make sure that you are seeing the book instead of me, because my little readers, I would like to read along with the book, not just watch me. So, because I'm not that fascinating. All right, here we go. Woo. All right. Joint venture. Two or more people joining forces to sell a certain amount of goods or to work on a single project. When the goods are sold or the project is finished, the joint venture ends. Your sister is really... Shut up, said Evan. Huh? Just shut up. She's okay. She doesn't... Look, she's okay, so just shut up. You okay? Said Scott, holding up his free hand to show he meant peace. Evan was getting abused on both sides. The heavy cooler was banging against the inside of his leg with every step, and the plastic chairs were scraping against his outside leg. Bruised and bloodied, he thought to himself, all for the fun of hanging out with Scott Spencer. Why wouldn't Jack have been home, or Ryan, and why did Adam have to be on the Cape this week? It stunk. How far are we walking? Grunted Scott. Just to the corner. Evan watched as drops of sweat fell off his face and landed on the hot sidewalk. We should have stayed in the driveway. It was shaded. The corner's better, trust me, said Evan. He remembered when Jessie had said the same words to him last summer. They were setting up a lemonade stand together, and Evan had been grumbling about dragging the cooler across the street and down two houses, just like Scott. But Jessie had insisted. There's sidewalk on this side, she said, so we'll get the foot traffic coming in both directions. And people and cars coming around the curve will have time to see us and slow down. Besides, there are a bunch of little kids on the side street, and their mothers don't want them crossing Damon Road. The corner's better, trust me. And she was right. They'd made a ton of money that afternoon. It took 10 seconds to set up the lemonade stand. Evan unfolded the chairs and set one on each side of the cooler. Scott tilted the sign toward the street for maximum effect. Then they both sat down. Man, it is hot, said Evan. He took off his baseball cap and wiped the sweat from his face with his shirt. Then he grabbed an ice cube from the cooler, balanced it on his head, and stuck his cap back on. Yeah, said Scott, I'm thirsty. He reached into the paper bag and pulled out a cup. It was one of those large red plastic cups that vendors use at professional baseball games. Then Scott took one of the pitchers from the cooler and filled the cup to the brim with lemonade. Hey, not so much, said Evan, pouring himself a cup too, but only part way. He glugged down half his drink. Not bad, he thought, though he noticed a dead fruit fly floating on the top. His mom had been battling a mad fruit fly infestation ever since the weather had turned really warm. The kitchen sink area where they kept their fruit bowl was dotted with tiny, feathery fruit fly corpses. Scott drained his cup and tossed it on the ground. He said, satisfied. That was good. I'll have another. And I'm going to pause now, and we'll come back to this.